How often have you seen couples come to you where they talk about in the beginning of their relationship, the sex drive was crazy, but then as time went on, it just faded away, and you find out that one partner has a high desire for physical intimacy in the relationship, and the other one has a low, and you didn't know that in the beginning because when you first meet somebody, it's all new. So you're just like jackrabbits in a sense. But then the true colors come out after a couple of years where people show who they really are and how they show up in relationships. How do you approach a situation where y'all at total opposites of the spectrum?
So it's funny because it's a lot like my husband talks about that time of our lives when I used to cook for him and he'd be like, back when you were tricking me. Um, absolutely. Absolutely. But I don't agree with the idea that it's your true self.
Hmm.
When intimacy is lacking in your relationship, that isn't you going back to your default. That
Okay.
is a lack of prioritization. It is a lack of prioritizing your own sexuality.
Yeah.
Life is not going to hand over more desire, more energy, more sleep, um, better physical health. It doesn't hand it over to you. And it's the same way with sexuality. It's something that you have to work on consistently and become aware of what it takes for you to stay turned on, for you to stay interested, not just in sexuality, but in your partner. Every single
Mhm.
day, we are choosing to be with our partner or not. Some people wake up and choose violence, but I
Right.
do think it's important to remember that this is an active relationship with sexuality. It isn't just something that is there or it's not. It's not something that you once had and now you don't. I did my doctoral project it's called Sexpectant Parents, and it's about maintaining sexual intimacy during pregnancy. I did
Mhm.
that because I think it is so important to remember that even when there's a really good reason and a really good distraction going on in your love life, in your body, on your mind, wherever your baby lives, I think it's important to remember that your sexual connection can absolutely be snuffed out if you're not nurturing it in really any way. And pregnancy lasts for at least 10 months. Then you have to heal. And so before you know it, if you don't experience any sort of sexual connection or foster that, you've gone a full year, and that will alienate not just yourself, but your partnership. And so it's important to always be fostering that. What I think happens with a lot of people is that they have that neurological, that hormonal, that chemical pull towards each other at the beginning of a relationship. And it's called new relationship energy.
Yep.
NRE is so important. And I talk about this in the book,
Yep.
but it is so powerful. And some people can literally become addicted to it. And if you've ever felt it, you know how and why.
Mhm.
That energy will only last somewhere maybe between, and they're starting to say it lasts less and less. And I think that's just a result of us being in a give me now, everything is now, now, now
Right.
gratification. It typically only lasts 12 to 18 months, maybe if you're lucky, 24 months. And so those first months, everything is working towards you. You could be late to work. You wouldn't care. You could get into, you could risk everything, but we're going to connect. We're going to get it on. We're going to be thinking about it. We're going to, all this stuff.
Mhm.
I will, research things and toys and do all this. And then all of a sudden, once that new relationship energy starts to fade, you don't have that urge that's telling you this is on your mind. Make this happen. Carve out time for it. Be attractive. All of those things. So then very quickly, life says, not only do you not have the NRE, but now you have life getting in the way.
Yeah.
Well, your projects mean more. You say yes to more obligations and responsibilities. You may decide to have a child or get married or plan a wedding or all of those things. And so it's basically like this energy gets a little dimmer, and instead of feeding it, we say, oh, let me bring in this other thing that's going to take over. And before you know it, you are in a sexless marriage.